everyone. I am starting a new series in which I am hoping to document our adoption process. And in this video, I'll spend a little bit of time talking about the journey that we've taken to try and conceive children, and then dealing with infertility and infertility treatment, and a little bit about our experience with foster care, and then what brought us to adoption and what that's been like so far. So for those unfamiliar with our journey, Matt and I have been married for 10 years this July, and about 3 years into our marriage, we decided to start trying to conceive. And after a couple years, we realized that things were not going according to plan. So after some time passed and we were back living in Seattle, we decided to go to a fertility doctor and get some tests done, and we were diagnosed with unexplained infertility. So from there, we moved forward with some drug therapy treatments for myself, and then also I had a couple surgeries done, one to remove a polyp and one that also detected a little speck of endometriosis. It was also found through imaging that I had an arcuate uterus, so just slightly misshapen, nothing that necessarily was contributing to our problem. And then Matt had a sperm count done, a sperm analysis that showed that his morphology was a little bit off. Later testing also revealed that my egg count was low. So just a hot mess of issues. Later on, when we would see another specialist, she would tell us that, with the issues you have, particularly with the morphology issue with Matt's sperm and my low egg count, the chances of us conceiving naturally are very low. Along the line, we kind of got to the point where we thought we were incredibly discouraged and tired of going through the process of trying to conceive, and started to look at adoption. And as we looked at the private adoption route, it just felt impossible financially. So I read a book that introduced foster care, or adoption through foster care. And it really ignited something in me. And there was always something that I was kind of held back inside. Like, I don't know if this is the best option. Probably a big part of that was that Matt was really resistant to go down that path, but we both felt like if this is the path to parenthood for us, let's dive in with both feet and see how it goes. And so we went through the training and all the licensing requirements, which took almost a year. We tried to go through as quickly as possible, but for those of you who are familiar with the foster care system, there is quite a bit of a process to become licensed to foster. Of course, every state is different. We're in Washington State. And so we had 3 different classes we needed to take through the state, a mountain of paperwork, a couple home studies, and just a lot of time had to pass to get that license. Well, the very week that we received our licensure through the state, we learned that I was pregnant, which blew our minds. We were shocked and disbelieving for the first night, and then the next morning, it definitely sunk in for my husband. He was adorable. He Mr. Don't tell anybody, just keep everything close to the chest, walked in to work and told the first friend that he saw, and it was very exciting for a couple weeks. And then I started to bleed, and I was fearful the whole time that I would miscarry because, well, for those of you who know me, I just tend to worry anyway. I was expecting the worst. And so that was very emotional. We went in to get an ultrasound. It was still pretty early. I was almost 7 weeks at this point, and the ultrasound showed a heartbeat, which was exciting and encouraging and emotional for both of us. But it also showed a potential problem. The doctors were confident, saying, hey, this happens sometimes, and it's, it can potentially be nothing. But I didn't end up miscarrying at 7 weeks, and it was devastating for both of us. It also showed us, in a way that we couldn't have imagined, how desperately we wanted a baby, and how much we wanted that experience of growing a baby and just being with them from the beginning. And so after a miscarriage, we thought, well, we got pregnant once, maybe we can get pregnant again. There's definitely a grieving process. We decided after a while that we would try and move forward with foster care, but we tried with a few sets of children, and each time it fell through, meaning that we got a call saying the child had been placed with someone else, or we got a call saying that the foster family that was about to have the children transition was going to keep them after all. So it wasn't that it was bad for the children. They found other homes, which is good. But each time we were left feeling like, we were gearing up to have these fabulous little humans in our home, and we never had that opportunity. At some point, we decided this no longer feels like the right road for us. And so we decided to donate what we had accumulated. We had very lovely and gracious family and friends who had thrown showers for us, and coworkers. And so all the things that we had accumulated for for those children that we were going to foster, we donated back to the foster care system, and felt like we could at least give a little something back. We'd become so committed to the idea of working with the foster care system and just, being a part of that community and trying to put some good back into the system. And so we tried to, give a little bit that way. And we were left feeling kind of hollow by the whole experience. And just settling into the potential idea that, well, we're probably going to not have children, and that's really sad, but maybe that's the journey for us. Well, that didn't last long, as it never did. We always come back to this dream to have children, to be parents, and so we started to explore biological conception route again, and we went to a fertility specialist who recommended IUI, since we were hesitant to go the in vitro route again because of finances and other concerns, medical concerns around in vitro. And so we did 3 rounds of intrauterine insemination, and none of them worked. And at the end of that process, we really intentionally said, we are not going to have children. And we need to accept that reality, and we need to start a new adventure together. We need to focus on travel, or we need to focus on just other things that we're passionate about, and intentionally invest in a life without children. So a year later, I am having a procedure done, and very suddenly there's this kind of calm realization that the big plans that we had tried to explore, travel and leisure and these other adventures, that's not our path. We are meant to be parents. And it was almost comical, because in the past, approaching these parenting options, there's a certain desperation to them, and there was no desperation this time. It was just kind of this calm realization that we're going to adopt. And due to YouTube time limits, I'm going to stop part 1 there, and you can hear the rest of the story if you like by accessing the part 2 video. Thanks for watching.